Hello, hope you're doing well. This is Bunto, and welcome to the second episode of SkinnyGYM. Today we're going to be talking about weight lift circuits and routines. Saturday, April 16th, I believe. Let me give you a quick update of where I am right now. I'm on my second diet array for 2016. I've already had my first plateau of it. I was making some progress, losing about a pound a week, and then all of a sudden I just banged out 2 pounds of. I gained 2 pounds last weigh-in. Now, what happens is that you know, I start again not finishing the workouts. Right, that was the problem of the first diet. I just was not finishing workouts, so it started happening again. I've been doing this vegan campaign where I've just been eating a lot of vegetables and nothing but. Right. Well, I've decided I'm going to go ahead and suspend that because it's just this sensation of depletion is just something you cannot, ignore. What would happen would be that I was doing a lot of things to compensate, right? I was eating a lot of vegetables. You can stuff yourself with vegetables, but really it wasn't so much that I was wanting to get full or satiated. What it was that I just wanted the energy. I wanted power, when I got to the workout. And then I was doing stuff to like compensate by, like I'm not usually a late night eater because I used to do a lot of intermittent fasting last year, 2015. So this time I was eating like, grazing, lots of dried fruit and nuts, so forth. And, just to get some carb energy that way. Taking honey in the morning. I just wanted to have some power when I got to the gym, but nevertheless, just a severe feeling of depletion. So I've decided, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and suspend the vegan campaign. I learned a lot from it. I've learned, the value of vegetables and the effort that it does take to just, keeping yourself aligned or just maintaining yourself with vegetables. But, my viewpoint on this is that, just the sake of depletion. I think veganism is excellent for somebody who's the 150 pounder or less. Anybody who's like bigger than that, I have to say, this is an exercise in honesty, that you have to have a concentrated protein source, some concentrated energy source that can help you replete your muscles that you do break down in the workout. Suffice to say, I'm not 5'7", so I really couldn't get anywhere. Other than that, than the change in the diet, I think, just stick with a good macro diet of some proteins. Keep the vegetable impetus going, and just see if I can, end this second array of diet in a veganish mode. Heavy vegetables. But I did learn, a lot from it. The only other thing is I have suffered some minor injuries. What happened was I was doing some narrow grip pull-ups at the workout at the gym. I like doing them at a HIIT pace, high intensity. And what happened was on the down, I sort of like just dropped myself because I was getting tired, and I just yanked the clavicle, so that hurts. It feels a lot better today, but how that goes, it's like a minor injury. It usually takes minor injuries in my experience, take like at least a week to 10 days, just to go away. And they do tell you, like, kill it with lightweight. Have you ever, I don't know if you all heard that, but if you talk to a bodybuilder or a weightlifter, kill it with lightweight. Yeah, you can press through, but I think, if you're like me, getting up there in an advanced stage, you just sort of want to lay off. There's myriad of exercises that you can do. There's this other parts of your body that you can move on to. And the only other thing is I got a little bit of ankle tendonitis. And what happens with tendonitis with me? Okay, as you age, your tendons get a lot stiffer. All right, and the biggest tendon, as far as I know, I believe is the ankle tendon. And what happens is that injury or malady will just sort of like crawl up, maybe crawl over to your other leg. But it's just something to deal with. Now, when you have something like tendonitis, there is absolutely no use in trying to press through it. Go ahead and shut down. You can live again to fight another day. in it at that point. Because, you know, the big thing about Skinny Gym at this point is, you know, you want to keep moving. It's the idea of always being mobile and always being moving. So you do want to, you know, keep your flexibility and your cards and your trump cards going. So go ahead and, you know, lay off overexerting or exacerbating that injury. All right, so why don't we just, you know, dig into the subject of today, which is weightlifting and how to approach it. Weightlift. Let me see. I don't want to call it weightlifting because it's not like the actual methods of weightlifting. It's just what the weightlift, the idea of weightlift is about in my mind at this point. I've been going to the gym for over a year now, almost 2 years, and I'm just telling you what I've seen in my observation. Okay, so let's break down weightlift 3 ways. Just, you know, the beginner basics is that there's light, there's medium, and there's heavy. Now, each one has its position, but just to, you know, to deconstruct it for you so you understand my approach to it. Okay, light is very interesting when you're lifting light. Okay, light is about many things. Lifting lightweight is, you can call it in a name, call it undertraining. Undertraining. There's overtraining when you're doing way too much, right? There's training, you know, where you're just right. And then there's undertraining where it's sort of like, it's almost an artistry to it, you know, that there's actually things that you want to do by lifting a lot less weight. Now, let's call light lifting 66% exertion. All right, like, you know, you're exerting yourself. Well, just you measure it as a 66% exertion. You know, just a little bit over half, 2/3 of an exertion, right? Now, what you can do with light lifting, of course, you know, Skinny Gym is pretty much light lifting, but a pedagogy to it. You know, there's an approach, right? Okay, light lifting is reps. You know, you're going to be doing a lot of reps. But the thing about reps is that you're after form. You're after attaining a good form. Okay, let's say you're painting a picture. You know, you paint that picture over and over. You're after, you know, just getting it right. You know, making that picture just look really good that you like it. Okay, form is important. Okay, they would tell you, the trainers, that you have to have good form and everything. Well, the thing is, what I've discovered about form, and it's almost like music or art, is that you sort of arrive into form, right? I don't believe that, you know, you start out perfect form every time like an android, but you start the routine rep and then you know, slip into the perfect form. Okay, to the form that's really good, an excellent form. You know, okay, may I make the distinction, please? Excellent and perfect, right? Let's get excellent form. Okay, you're after form, right? And you're after something called squeeze. You know, for a contraction, what squeeze is, or pump, is that you know that you are working that muscle that you're aiming for. You feel it, you know you're working it, and you let the muscle dominate the weight. Okay, it's not so much that, you know, you're lifting 150 pounds and feeling, you know, just the strain of that weight on your muscles. No, in this case, your muscle is actually dominating that weight that you're lifting. Okay, and you can get a lot out of that. You're getting a lot of blood, you know, gorged into the muscle, and oxygen, and it's a lot of stimulation. Hypertrophy that you're looking for, I believe is what it's called. So light lifting is like an art. Okay, sure, you don't want to like, okay, I'll you know, honest, from what I've read, there are some trainings that is just complete undertraining. You know, it's you know, it is what it is. But, you know, I would say for Skinny Gym, you know, we want to have something called progression, which I'll explain. But anyway, light is a good way of starting out. Okay, let's call that 66% exertion of light lifting. Okay, then the next one we'll call medium, or lifting the most that you're going to do for that session. Okay, it's like, usually what I'm trying to say is that most is what comes at the end of a progression. All right, It's something that on that day, that session is the most you're going to lift. Okay. It's a medium. It's like it's an exertion, but it's the most that you're going to do. Let me clear my head how I can say it. It's not your max. That's what I'm trying to skirt around max. Max is, when I talk about max right now, heavy that's like a 1 rep max, all the weight you could ever lift at that time. You're going to try lifting it, and you will do that on occasion, but I'll tell you a specific case where you'll do that, a specific method, and that's what I call drop sets to failure. Okay, so you can watch other people do max work. What they do is you'll watch them maybe do 3 to 5 reps. 5 is max for these guys, super heavy exertion, and then sit there for like about 3 to 5 minutes recovering. Okay, looking on their iPhone, whatever they're doing. By that time, if you're in SkinnyGYM, you're on your like 3rd or 4th routine. All right, what I'm trying to say is that we have a different approach, mentally, as far as what we're after, result wise in the gym. It's all about movement. You have to keep moving. Conditioning orientated. Okay, so I gave you 3, please. I gave you light, medium most, and heavy. Okay, now there's 2 methods that I advise for just beginners, or to approach for utilizing these 3 components, right? Okay, the first one is what I'll call progressive, and progressive is very easy. It's where you start with your lightest weight and you work to your most that you're going to do that day. Now, it is primarily, in my mind, strength orientated. That it is a way to build strength. Okay, why do you want to build strength? It's so if you expand your strength, there's more things you can do at the gym, and therefore lose weight, right? Or excuse me, let me be more exact, please. Lose body fat. I could say lose weight as far as those weak muscle fibers that you want to get rid of, but let's just call it body fat just to be politically correct. Okay, if you expand your strength, there's more things you can do. There's more things you can do. There's more things you can try to get to the development or the body that you want to get. All right. Progressive is you start at like your lightest and work to your most. For example, let's say you start at 60 pounds and on this one tool or one machine at that moment, and work all the way up to 120 pounds, usually a double. Okay, a double of the weight. Now, or I'll just say, the most that you want to do at that time. I hope you understand my thinking. I just want to be, accommodating to everybody's mindset here, please. So what's interesting about progressive is that progressive is something that works through workout to workout, week to week, or month to month, right? Like you can have a month progressive idea that you're, working on a strength attempt. You want to get to a certain strength level, right? It's like this, like if you're going to eat a big sandwich, you don't have to eat the whole sandwich with one bite. With progressive, you can take little bites and work yourself all the way to a good, satisfying, meal. There's no hurry, and there's a direction, right? There's method. And a good thing about progressive is that when you're actually doing a progressive on a particular tool or machine, is that it accommodates itself that you can take a break in the middle of the progression to go sort of like surprise your body or change it up. Like a progression, let's say from 60 all the way to 80 pounds, 90 pounds, you stop and you get up and you go to something that's body weight orientated. I always like to, any sort of circuit routine or progression, I like to interrupt with a body weight, depending. I'll explain the rules of my thinking of how to interrupt something like that with a body weight. Okay, in this case, in this example, I don't want to get ahead of myself, is in a progression, you get up to a certain weight, that's right in the middle, and then you stop and you go do a body weight. And the reason about you're doing a body weight is because you're like kind of surprising your body, kind of changing up the beat. You come back and when you get back in the progression, you are thinking about better form each time. You're working yourself up. You're improving in the progression with form and the max of the weight that you're lifting, the heavier weight that you're lifting. Okay. Now, tips that I can give you about progression is like when you come into the gym, and you start your warm up, you do your stretching. Usually at that point, you get into a machine or something, a routine that you want to do. You want to have that one first be progressive rather than light. To do a progressive means that you can stop in the middle and go do, integrate even more warm up in the middle of it. I do that often. And also, it's like, as I was saying earlier, it's like you don't start immediately with the best form. Okay, you sort of work yourself into the excellent form that you want, and progressiveness leads that you can get into the pump, get into the squeeze where you're working it to the best of your ability. All right. Why don't you just start lifting light at the outset of your workout? That you can do that, but light, when you're lifting light, that's sort of like you're saving that a bit. That's sort of like the better brush strokes of artistry. Save your light lifting in the midst of a pretty good workout. You finish some progressiveness, then you go to the light lifting because you're like really working out some beautiful strokes. You're getting some good squeeze on whatever you're doing. So progressiveness is a lot of fun. You'll be doing a lot of it. I think when you start beginning. When I first started working out, I really just started working full body. Just one exercise, accumulation of exercises. But as I would say, like, you get intermediate, you get used to it, right? You will start aiming at sections, body parts, and there you really start, working the beauty of progressive routines. Now, progressiveness is strength oriented, right? You want to get stronger, or you're looking to get stronger doing that. Okay. Now, the last thing I'll mention about weightlift is something called drop sets to failure. Drop sets to failure. How does that work? It's interesting. Okay, think about this. You want to get, it's for development, okay, but it's like a painful way. It is a painful way. You get all that pain right at the beginning, right? You start with your max, your most that you're going to do. Let's say you start to 120, and then you work yourself down to the 60. Now, how is that painful? Now, that's for like blasting your chest. I only use drop sets to failure on the upper half. I really haven't found anything to use it on the bottom half. That's really for like your chest, arms, shoulders, back. Yanking. Okay. Drop sets to failure. You start out with like something really heavy, and you do like 3 reps, right? 1, 2, 3, up to 5, whatever. And then you try to let it down as easy as you can. It's gonna hurt, right? And then you knock it down 1 notch, and then you do the thing back, maybe an extra rep or the same amount of reps, and then you work yourself down, right, all the way down to your lightest. But okay, what's different in this case is when you get to your lightest, you're doing something called to failure, which means you just keep pumping, keep blasting until you cannot do it anymore, right? And it's interesting. It's like, you may grunt a little bit at the beginning, right? But at the end is really where you're going to be in some pain. I mean, you're really going to be blasting, right? And be true to your school. Really try to push yourself on those last reps to failure when you hit your lightest. Usually you would save your drop sets to failure at the end of the workout, close to the end. What I like to do is one of those drop sets to failure, something that's really hardcore, and then do a cardio where I just leave it at the gym, right? So in your mind, you're using the drop sets to failure at the end of a workout, right? Close to the end. And also special about drop sets to failure is there is no interruptions. I mean, you're just kind of locked in you know, to getting all the way to the bottom. You're locked into the blast, all right, to get all the way to the bottom. So there's no like in progressive where you just right in the middle, hey, let me go do some, you know, dip bars. No, you finish your drop sets to failure. And another thing about it is like you could probably, you know, if you're doing it, you probably at most do 2, you know, in a workout. I don't see who the heck, you know, if you're doing more than 2, you probably could do more max at the top end, you know. What I'm trying to say is like, you know, it's, if anything is hardcore, it's drop sets to failure, right? There's 2 there, right? Progressive, where you work yourself up the pyramid, and drop sets to failure, where you just, you know, you blast. Let me take a quick break here and gather my thoughts. Now let's talk about something called circuit. Okay, the circuit method. Okay, as I described earlier, that when you watch other people at the gym, you know, bodybuilders, weightlifters, you know, that approach, you'll see them do something really heavy, 3-5 reps, you know, then sit there and diddle on their phone for a good 2 minutes while they recover. All right. What's different about our approach is that, you know, we are all about keeping moving. So we have these things called circuits or complexes. What is a circuit? A circuit is 2 or more exercises that you do consecutively at a pace. You try to have oxygen deficit, not much rest between them, right? Just, right, 2 or more exercises. There are some circuits I used to do last year that was like 5, you know, things. I was just, you know, playing with it. But then, you know, most of the circuits I do now are usually just 2. But I do some 3, you know, routines, right? Three sets of exercises in a row that I want to do at a pace, right? Another important thing to know about circuits and complexes, a basic thing is that you're working something called counters, right? So if you're working your bicep, the next thing that follows will be the triceps, right? Pushing, pulling, you know, that sort of idea, that whatever you do, it'll be kind of intuitive in your mind after a while, once you've learned a couple of exercises of resting the muscle group that is opposite to the one that you just did, you know, working it. So look towards the counters, right? It's not like, for example, I'll give you a nonsensical one, like you do a barbell curl and then the next thing you do is you go over to the abductors and wiggle your abductors. See, that's wrong. You do a barbell curl and then maybe you do, you know, assisted dips or something. You do something that works at triceps, right? Pulls, you know, rope pull. So there's counters there in the circuits, right? Now, as I mentioned earlier, I like to do body weight in the middle of resistance training. Okay, what is the beauty of body weight? Okay, body weight you'll enjoy is that it's something you can do, right? Like, suppose, you know, somebody came in, like a cop came in and said they're going to arrest you unless you can do 10 push-ups. You know, you can do 10 push-ups, bam, like that. It's something you can do, right, at a moment's notice. So knowing that, it's like there will be times when you'll be doing, you know, your circuits, you know, depending if you want to do 5 sets, right, maybe even 3 sets. You know, I'm accommodating myself to my listeners. Let's say you're doing 3 sets, right, and by that 3rd set, you know, you kind of get off sync, or you can't complete the set, you know, you get off rhythm. You can stick in a body weight, you know, not, how can I say, I thought of the word punishment, but it's not really punishment, but it's like sort of like a reset, you know, to get back in. So, you know, you get on the lat pull down, right? And you're supposed to be doing 100-pound lat pull downs. Let's say you're even doing a progressive, right? So 110. And you're supposed to do 10 of those, right? And you only do 3 before you know it's like, you know, you can't do it, right? So you set it down, and instead of just, you know, sitting there and getting pissed at yourself, you know, get right up and go over and do 10 push-ups, or do 3 pull-ups, get bars, you know, there's all sorts of stuff. You do planks. The object of body weight is that, you know, it's just like a reset, you know, mentally. And it helps that it keeps the pace, you know. It's not like you're try to, you know, reinforce something that you couldn't do at the moment. You get up and do something that you can do, come back, and then, dive right back into it. And, believe it or not, usually you'll have better success once you've done the reset. So, there's complexes, which are the same thing as circuits, right? 2 or more exercises. Then there's the counters that you're looking to stick in there. And then, the opposites, to make sense of the method. And then in the middle, anytime you feel like it or you need to, or to reset, you do body weight routines, right? And we'll have a show, I'm sure. I'll discuss all sorts of body weight exercises you can do just so you get that, basic idea under your belt. When you start learning, you're going to be learning, I imagine this is the beginning, you're going to be learning all sorts of machines. So, there's going to be some basic enjoyed body weight exercises you can learn. Okay, fourth and final, let's call it developing routines. Okay, a routine is something that works, right? It's something that you'll do a set of circuits that it's like, you're working your back, you're working your arms, you're working your ab core, right, with these routines, right? Now, the most important thing that anyone can impress upon, okay, how can I say it? I won't even say anyone. It's sort of like you go to the gym, right, and you see a certain person that, certain personality type that pretty much matches you're very simpatico with what they're doing. That, in my case, it's the fitness chicks, right? Now, what they've told me and what they impress upon me is conditioning, right? I mean, just flat out, they look good because of conditioning, right? What is their conditioning? It's the importance of keeping the heart rate up, right? It's all HIIT. I mean, HIIT is in high intensity interval training, is that they want to keep things going at a pace, right? That is the difference between, the typical meatheads lifting and SkinnyGYM, right there. Lock it into your brain. Keep the heart rate up. What you also want to do is, I hope you guys imagine, it's like you want to kind of keep it local to a certain set of machines. Like, you can set up circuits that are on the opposite side of the gym, right? But you'll be mostly walking to and fro from the gym. So there's a lot of ideas you can get once you learn the machines, just on a certain machine. So kind of keep it local to one set of machines. So you're not really, wasting too much time. You can do it if you want, walking around the gym. You just keep it in a certain area. That's one thing that crossed my mind. Now, lastly, most important, you should approach this, think of it almost like a machine, okay? And the machine is called periodization, okay? And what periodization is this? Your workout, your whole workout idea, the whole approach to going to the gym, okay? Let's say you rest on Wednesday. That's, the knob set at 0. You work hard on Thursday. That's the knob set on 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever you want. And then Friday you back off and work light, undertrain. That's a knob set at 1. So what periodization is that you get into the body feedback knowledge of when to, crank and when to turn that knob down, through the whole month, through your whole workout weeks that you're doing. So you can actually, once you learn periodization, once you learn, hey, I'm not busting ass all the time, right? Or I'm not undertraining all the time. There's like certain days that you're just going to, turn it on and hit. That is very important about your routines. So, okay, what I'm trying to say is how to apply this to everything that you'll try and everything that you learn here. When I say arms and chest, it's not always going to be set on 10, right? It's just, you can work that all the way down to 1 for like an undertrain, or you can crank it all the way up to a 10 to where, like, you're really doing hardcore stuff and trying to develop off it. You'll develop off everything, but what I mean is, like, you're really just saying, hey, I'm putting my foot down. I'm really going to just, stress the body, put the stressor knob all the way down to 10. There will be weeks where you'll be undertraining, and there will be weeks where you'll be doing normal. Undertraining is not something to, like, avoid. It's just a tool, you know. It's useful to turn that knob down so you can get the most out of the next workout. Well, you know, I'll just go ahead and leave it there, and I'll open up the Hangout to anybody who wants to come in and ask any questions, and just give me a few moments while I go ahead and do so. I'm putting the thing in the public feed, the link address. Oh, okay, well, let me go ahead and recurse here. What struck me about the vegan diet is that, yes, there's, you know, a wide variety of vegetables that you can eat, and, you know, investigate to see if you can get the most punch out of it, let's say, you know, the most fulfillment out of it. In a way, you will sort of like separate your vegetables from your fruits. It's like, you know, you'll think fruits, in my case, I thought more of them as this like added boost, you know, to get me, you know, energy for the next day. It wasn't like something that I actually added onto the meal. Mostly my meals were just vegetables. I stuck to it. I was pretty diligent. The only thing that I noticed really that struck me about being veganism is like I really had to eat a lot of food just to get some power, you know, just get some energy. Ate big meals of vegetables. You know, vegetables are okay. I guess, you know, you can get used to eating a lot of vegetables. I was just honest, you know, as a heart attack. The only thing that stopped me was just the power. I just was not getting. I was getting just such a depletion off it. I just wasn't getting the power that I wanted to use. I did all things. Did a lot of lentils. Did a lot of collard greens. A lot of cucumbers, salads. Some rice. You know, I figured rice was okay to eat. A lot of green smoothies. I ate a lot of nuts. Ate a lot of guacamole, raisins, prunes, bananas, beans, onions. You know, I didn't eat anything, you know, as exotic as like eggplant. I just didn't, you know, work that in. I just ate greens, really. Let me see, zucchini, squash, sprouts, carrots, just, you know, your typical vegetable fare. I did eat canned vegetables. I don't know if that make, you know, the raw vegans, I'm sure would say, you know, if you would have done raw food, but, you know, it was just my first veganism deal. Ate a lot, you know, didn't eat in the morning, you know, I was just keeping my protein shakes, right? Eat tons in the afternoon, right? I was doing 2 meals a day with grazing, right? I was grazing, you know, close to like an hour before going to sleep. You know, I just needed the energy. I was fearful of not having the energy the next day at the gym, because I would find out that, you know, close to the end of that workout, I just wasn't able to finish, right? And some days were good. Like I could jump on the cross ramp and really bust it, right? So I knew I had good energy at the end there. But there's often a few days where I was just, hey man, I'm just depleted. You know, and the thing is, like, you know, I had that feeling of it. I'm just, you know, hanging off machines, staring at people when I knew if I would have had the energy, I would have been able to, you know, finish out the workout. So that was a factor. So I'm going to go ahead and, you know, cap this vegan attempt right now. Maybe, you know, if I get a wild hair up my ass, maybe I'll try it again next year. The thing is, what I really want, like I told you guys, my aim is I do want to try to get down to 180. So let's see if I can get back on track this week. I'm pretty sure, you know, I'll probably be at the same if I want to keep my energy level this Monday, but we'll never know. As far as like an ass busting workout, I did not do that on Friday when I hurt myself, and today I just, you know, went to the gym and pretty much just said hi to people. talked to another fitness girl about her workout because she's going to contest, right? Talked about ideas there. I told her I was just lifting light today. We talked about undertraining, talked about food, and this sort of machine, I don't know what you call it, durometer or something. It's like a machine they have at UT. They'll measure all your body fat exactly. So she told me to go investigate that. Then I went to the store, just bought the foods that I want to eat, and come home and go start eating them. I don't know if I'm gonna. The most I might do today is just do a walk around the block. Just keep the metabolism going. Tomorrow, maybe some running. Some Zen. On Sundays I like to do like a kind of Zen workout where I do a lot of stretching. I do rollout, static stretching. Okay. Static stretching is just, your muscles tighten up over a workout. So to do static stretching, you just take the time to go ahead and stretch those muscles out. And it's not like a mobile stretching that you would do as a warm-up to a workout. It's more like, a Sunday where you just sit down and just, stretch out with pigeon stretches and hammy stretches, roll out. It's, pretty much a Zen thing. You're just sitting there stretching out. I like to do straps on Sunday because, I usually have all the straps to myself, and I could just, instead of like hanging off them straps for like, 5 to 10 minutes during the week, I can hang off them for as long as I want, just figure out all sorts of areas on my body that I want to work out. So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. Just, the Zen Sunday stretch out. And then Monday, I will hit it hard. I'm going to go ahead and turn the knob up to full blast because I do want to have a good weigh-in for after I work out, and then I go weigh my in for Monday. And in Monday, what I usually do now, because I've already organized my workouts for the year, I just do legs and hit. Work a lot of legs, the leg extensions, leg curls, adductors, what else do I do? Well, my mind's a blank. For leg stuff, I have like 3 other exercises I could do for legs. And then I do HIIT. The HIIT is the one that really makes Monday, because HIIT is all about, keeping the heart rate up. And that's just, something as simple as jump rope. You go hard 30 seconds and then you rest for about 10, and then you do hard 30, hard off. There's another HIIT that I do besides jump rope. You can mix in mountain climbers with that shit. But it's called the Lance Armstrong bike because we have one of those, stationary bikes that's like a racer bike. And then you can do HIIT exercises on that, which is not that intense, but, it does take some work. And if you really, treat it like a HIIT exercise, you can really get a lot out of it. And I'm usually do the HIIT there, 30 minutes. So I do sweat and get some glycogen burned off with that. So that's my Monday. It's just going to be legs and HIIT. I do right now Monday, Tuesday, take Wednesday off, and then Thursday, Friday. I have a big recovery in there where I take, Tuesday afternoon off, all of Wednesday, Thursday morning, and then come back on Thursday afternoon and do that. And, workouts are pretty good. I do feel stronger than I did last year. The thing is, having the energy, via diet to finish those workouts is a concern of mine right now. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show. I know I was thinking about it, what I was going to exactly tell you. The beauty of these shows is I can organize my thinking about my approaches and relay them to you. So I do hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. My name is Bunto Skiffler. Go ahead and put it in comments. Have a good weekend, y'all. Take care.